Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night Chronicle. I am the Ravnos Archon. My name is Will, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. And last we left off with our Camarilla crew. We opened up with the two ladies because we were missing our, I want to use favorite very loosely, Tremere. But they arrived at the country club where they were told that most of the Primogen had been gathered for them. They met the statuesque Amazonian woman known as Yokasta Dracos, who is the new Greek ancestored hound to the sheriff. She will be their liaison for the project moving forward. And they ended up giving the report about the building that is for sale on the strip. And they were told that the sheriff was going to be put in charge of the whole thing, though some of them picked up on how the prince did have an air of distrust about the sheriff's ability. But it was revealed that Connie Eastworm had been captured by hunters before, and somebody mentioned talking to Melvin about it since she was part of his coterie. But the prince called off the November and December Elysium just to be safe, and then volunteered Ivory's club for the January Elysium. After their meeting at the country club, they went directly to the Red Eye Lounge to meet with Otis King and his coterie. And when they arrived, they saw that Fridays are wet t-shirt contest night. They immediately found out that Karl had called in some favors to deal with the wards on the ashes from John Coulson. And they were told that the group in the city, the Tremere in the city, are very interested in his findings. But they found out that the bouncer's name is Charlie as they were introduced. And then they met the ever affable Manny Garcia, the coterie's Nosferatu, as he patted them down and collected their weapons. They had a lively interaction before being taken downstairs through the vault entrance into the office that sits beneath the Red Eye Lounge, where they got to see the rest of the coterie. They were introduced to Manny properly. They knew John Coulson already. They knew Otis King, and they got to see Dimitri Korchagin, the group's gangrel. As they came downstairs, they heard a jazz album playing. Kathy immediately spilled the beans about why they were there, with a little bit of stream of consciousness, kind of / word vomit. Otis revealed that he was there at the country club when the SWAT team showed up to assault them the last night that Geraldine Birmingham was alive. Also mentioned that Albert Frost had helped to protect the prior prince. He told them that he doesn't give up information for free, and that since he is 2 steps removed from what's happening in Salem proper, that whatever happens in Salem is Hyde's problem, not his. He has his hands full with dealing with Grant Reynolds in West Salem, and until he can kind of control the area on the other side of the bridge, he doesn't really care about the city proper. He did mention that Hannah Smalley was in the city to help Geraldine with something, but that no one knows what that is, because the parties that were privy to that are now both destroyed. But he also mentioned that Hyde was there and that he attacked Otis and put him into torpor. He also revealed that Manny has created a bridge with the Lupines as far as Salem Town is concerned, and that's why it is a bit of a safe harbor for all kindred. And they were told that any information they can find on Reynolds would be key and of most use to him, but any information that revolves around the city proper or the Kuei Jin or anything happening in Salem is completely useless to him. And so, playing a trump card, Ivory decided to reveal that Geraldine is her sire's sire, and that the situation around the city is a personal matter. Otis warned her that going up against Hyde would require friends of high caliber. But they ended up giving him and Dimitri the address to the hotel, which he went to investigate as they were being led out. And on the way back into the city proper, they kind of laid out what is in front of them, what the circles of influence that is has touched each one of them, starting with the demon in the hotel, the werewolf girl at the hotel, the Kuei Jin of the city, and the hunter that got away from them. Kathy thought about it for a moment and remembered certain facts about the one that got away, chiefly that he wore steel-toed boots, that he had wearing around the knees of his jeans, and that the dog must have been at least 3 years old. But they drove around, heading towards the other hunter who was summarily destroyed that evening by Kathy. And they ended up seeing that there was a bunch of churches, among them the Cavalry Chapel at the end of the street leading to the Windstone village where the house sits. And after a moment, Kathy decided to investigate the situation with her offuscate, saw that the backyard light was on, that everything else was off in the house, but she could hear the clicking of a fan, the rhythmic breathing of someone sleeping. And as she was taking pictures from their frames, she felt something rub up against her ankle, and now she owns a cat, because that's how things happen. You don't set out to own a cat. Cats just come into your life. This is what I've learned. But one of the pictures on the back had Holyoke Retreat 1980 and Portland written into it. There was a few photos of the two gentlemen and the gentleman's wife, who she found out was in their master bedroom. She also found a safe that she cracked, found some shotgun shells, some bullets, a Saturday night special, and a big old cross, as you do. But she ended up leaving a note that was an apology for the woman's husband's death. And then she went back into the car, where she ended up calling her contact to try and figure out what he could find out about the guy, while trying to meet up to give him the stuff. And then when she arrived at the Last Call bar, she found that it was being set up for construction, that some company had swooped in, bought up the territory, and had made major moves to try and restore or create something new out of the space. And we left off with everyone going their separate ways, but we will pick up with all three of our coterie members a couple of days later. Before we get to Monday, the 12th of November, though, I want to see why Karl wasn't at the impromptu meeting of the Primogen. So we're gonna go back to that night. You are where exactly, and what are you trying to accomplish with the ashes and the blood that you have?
So obviously we're trying to get as much info as we can from the blood
Mm-hmm.
and the ashes. Let's see. What are we doing there? So I know with the ashes we were trying to determine, to confirm whether or not the ashes were actually, the vampire in question.
Mm-hmm.
The Archon, right?
Yep. Hannah Smalley.
Yeah, Hannah Smalley.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine that's an extended roll, which I forgot my dice, of course. Sorry.
Oh man.
I knew I'd forget something.
The one thing you need, besides your character sheet or
I had my book stuff and everything. Just forgot
your
my dice.
notes.
All right.
10-siders are what you're gonna need. What is your hunger at? Is it still 1 or?
I think it was sated by the hunter last we spoke, I believe.
Okay.
We double check. Where are we?
Oh yeah, you are hunger 0. So you
No
don't have
hunger
any
dice.
hunger dice for this.
Nope.
No chance of a botch.
So what do you want me to roll? Got blood sorcery 3.
So Are you using any of the blood sorcery rituals, or are you just
Let's see.
using
Rituals.
your knowledge? You got blood walk, wake of the evening's freshness, and illuminate
Right.
trail of prey.
Right. So I think it would be Bloodwalk, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Check on my. What do we need for Bloodwalk? No, I think it's. I mean, it's ash. I don't know. Technically not blood.
Yeah, but there was dried blood that you took from the
Right.
scene,
Yeah. You can confirm with that.
so I'll make sure the two.
Unbelievable. Apparently, my headset decided to die. 1 second. God forbid. Just starting off all kinds of good.
Yep, look at you. Like
All
4 week
right.
vacation wasn't enough for you.
Apparently not. Anyway.
Yep,
Too much.
too
Too much.
much.
Yeah, I'm forgetting all my rituals here. Um.
There we go.
Yeah. Look. If anything, we'd have to try to do a modified version of Bloodwalk.
Yep. Yeah. So normally the ritual requires you to mix their blood with the subjects and repeat an incantation over the cup, spending roughly an hour. You need a silver cup filled with the blood from the subject and one rouse checks worth of your own, or both, honestly. When
True.
the ritual whirl allows the user to learn the generation and name of the subject as well as the subject's sire. A critical win also informs the user of any blood bonds active on the subject as regnant or thrall. That's good. That's a good power to have.
Yeah, and we did get the results already, but we can go through. Last time we had talked about it already.
Yeah. So it's going to require an intelligence and blood sorcery test.
Okay. Intelligence for sorcery.
And you're not sure if it's because you don't have blood or because you are trying to circumvent the rules of the natural order of things the ritual is concerning with.
Mm-hmm.
But there's resistance.
Interesting.
There's something that is trying to keep everything about the blood hidden.
That's new. All right. Which I'm not unexpected due to us modifying rules, but always good to note. So I got 7 and 3 6s. Oddly enough.
Okay.
Everything else below that.
You start to feel resistance, even though this is ash and the person in question cannot physically stop you. There's still that pushback, and you notice that there are wards set up that the ash itself kind of swirls into a symbol that you have not seen in some time.
Okay.
But it is a hermetic symbol.
Okay.
There is magic, like true magic, involved in this person's ashes. And as the moment it kind of flurries into the symbol, there's a knock on your door.
Oh, shit.
And not like your apartment door, your house door, like on the door to whatever laboratory you're currently
my
in.
haven.
Yes.
The hidden laboratory. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Not that I expected it to maintain, hidden long, but sure. Listen on the other side for a heartbeat, at least. Aspects.
Okay.
Because if it's the fucking hunter, we're gonna have issues. But
yeah, you turn on your aspects and you do hear that thump, 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 of a heart.
Okay.
It's slow, almost on the border of lethargic.
If it was 100, they'd be probably way more freaking out, unless they were just super cold-blooded. I'm still gonna get my gun, and it's a laboratory, so I imagine I have like at least a vial of acid lying around somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get those two things.
Okay.
And just yes to the door.
There's another knock, and the door dissolves.
Shit. Okay. It was $300, man. That was a nice door.
Yeah. You just see it turn into it turns into the base ingredients, like the lumber, the kind of drips of paint, anything that went into the construction of the door. It just kind of like shifts itself into that, and then as it's falling over, it just starts to disintegrate down on a molecular level. And you see a gentleman who looks like he's homeless. There is an open shirt that looks to have been at one point a very nice business shirt. The sleeves are ripped around the elbows. There's stains, blood, grease. The pants are sweatpants that almost look like they've been ripped just beneath the knee. Shoeless, sockless, dirty, muddy feet, just these kind of dirty, muddy hands, these sunken eyes, and what looks like what was a beard that has just fallen off in patches. And there's patches of his hair that have fallen off as well, so it's not all there. Like it almost feels like this is the beginning of a metamorphosis into like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Lovely. And is no Scry the Souls later, right?
Yeah.
We can't do our reading yet at 2 aspects anymore.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's 3 now.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. But he points at the ashes. Can I have that?
By what? Why? And who are you?
And you see him look around at the floor. And then he looks up at you. You can call me Judas.
Hi, Judas. You realize you are in my home.
Is that what this is? I had a home once, I think.
Do I get any sense that he's like hostile?
He doesn't feel hostile.
Okay.
Like, it looks like he's trying to find a train of thought. Like he's constantly looking around. He will fixate on the ashes for a moment and then again throw himself into like looking at the room, looking at what you have in your hand.
Gonna kind of scrutinize him, see if I can see anything with sense the unseen. I know I can't get the door, but anything floating around him, any blood magic, etc.
Okay, yeah, roll. That doesn't let you see spirits, right? Because that's Oblivion.
It says spy upon a character to a ghost in the middle of the room.
Oh,
so
okay.
You can see a ghost.
All right.
So, all right. I only have aspects 1, so I need that anyway. So it wouldn't matter if I had 2.
You'll be
all
fine.
Right. I got 2 9s and a 10.
Yeah, boy. You shift your vision. You're almost expecting something. But what you see, I don't think you're prepared for. There is a thin, almost layer of reality that seems to come loose around him. Like, it almost looks like an entire outline of frayed thread encircles him. But following him is what looks to be a middle-aged woman. Her hair is tied back. Simple kind of shirt, overshirt, sweatpants that look very similar to the ones that he's wearing. And 2 children, a young boy who looks to be about 10 and a young girl who looks to be about 8, but who are spectral.
Oh. Okay, keep my eye on them for sure. But starts racking my brain, going, "What the hell is reality doing around this guy?" Any way to judge via my knowledge on occult or anything? Because I know
you could try an intelligence and occult roll, okay. And as you see them, he kind of locks eyes with you, and you see them. It is an interesting dilemma that you find yourself in, because he looks apathetic, but the moment that he sees that you've seen them, there's a rage that comes to the surface. And you see him take a step into your room towards the ashes.
Okay. I go, "You need to step back and not enter my private sanctum without invitation at the very least."
Oh, I'm not like you.
Oh, I didn't say you needed an invitation. As in a physical thing, I'm saying there's going to be consequences if you don't step back.
And you see he looks down at the gun, and when he does, it feels rubbery all of a sudden.
I had a feeling that was something like that was going to happen. Yeah. Okay, look at the gun.
It looks like a toy gun, like a little dog squeeze toy. And even when you squeeze the trigger, you hear the bing.
You're starting to rack up costs here. Oh,
that's what Marauders do.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was a Marauder. Anyway, on the roll, out of character, but in the roll is 2 7s and a 6.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah, this is back when you were alive and not a vampire, and this was more of a thing that you were studying. There was talk among certain circles that sometimes an awakened would snap. The weight of the sheer magnitude of being able to rewrite reality at your whim sometimes broke people. And when it did, the fortunate awakened were allowed to die with some dignity and try to allow their avatar to find a new home that could sustain that wildfire. Some mages went insane and became pinpricks of their own realities. The rules no longer applied to them because they were setting their own rules against reality, and as such, they were no longer part of the Tellurian, but they were themselves a Tellurian unto themselves.
Right.
And that's what it feels like this guy is.
Okay, so I don't have stuff to shit my pants as a vampire, but I'm shitting my pants.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So obviously, knowing that confirmed my suspicion. I figured he was some level of mage. That's not good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Drop the rubber squeaky toy.
Okay.
Put the vial of acid calmly down.
The moment it hits the ground, he immediately turns his attention to it. Almost like something shiny has caught his attention. There are moments where he's lucid, and then there's moments where he's just like at the whim of whatever he's out there.
Okay.
But he looks at it, and then he catches himself, and he looks back at you. Sit down. Make a willpower roll for me, please.
I didn't feel that was coming. Honestly, I don't think it really required a willpower. I think I was going to sit down regardless. But we'll go for it. Yeah, like 1 success. So.
Okay. You don't even move for the chair itself. Like, you just fall into a sitting position and you find your body forced to sit there.
Okay.
Like, it becomes rigid, and you see him grab up the ashes in both hands, and he brings it up to his nose, and you see him snort some of the ashes. And with his hands, you see on one chest, on one pectoral, he draws an A with 4 smaller steps becoming smaller as they go towards the top. And on the other one, he draws what looks to be a half-finished stick figure. The circle, the little stick coming down, the T of arms, and then he draws 2 little horns. And the second he finishes, he looks at you and he says, "Thank you. Thank you, Karl." And the moment he says your name, your spine shivers. You have that feeling like somebody walked over your grave, and then he blinks out of your existence.
Okay. Oh.
But whatever ash fell out of his hands while he was snorting it is the only ash you have left. But it definitely has a glimmer to it now. Like, it looks like how fairy dust looks in Peter Pan and Hook.
Awesome. We got fucking marauder dust mixed with hermetically sealed fucking shit. Oh, this is starting to move out of my fucking rank and file. This is out of my pay grade.
Yeah, it takes also about 20 minutes for your rigidity to unleash itself, to release you, and you fall onto your backside.
Okay. Okay, gonna need a new gun and a new door. And a new set of pants.
Mm-hmm.
But well, that was most interesting. I've not, of course, I don't even run into a mage. I run into a marauder. That's amazing.
Yep.
So
these are the things that are running around in Salem.
And obviously with 2 fucking ghosts running after him, which is
3.
Probably not what he likes to know anybody to know about. So that's even better.
I like that you're making a note. Don't bring up his family.
Yeah.
Don't look at them.
Yeah, don't look at them. Rage induced by ghosts. Okay. And he knew my name, which, sure, why not at this point?
I mean, you got 1 success to fight off his suggestion, so I figured I would just use that as your defense against him peering into your mind.
Right.
So it was not enough to block a marauder.
Yeah, it clearly caught me off guard and all that. I would have been better if I wasn't shitting my pants.
Yeah.
So
my favorite part about all of this is that the Anarch coterie is the one that created him, and because they have no Tremere, I can't fuck with them. Magic hoodoo voodoo is just gonna be me being a vindictive and antagonistic storyteller, but you're a Tremere. Magic hoodoo voodoo is your alley and bread and butter, so you get to experience all of it.
Fine. I like being the magic kicking bag. That's all right. One day, we'll see.
Yep.
It's all a matter of time,
and
I have centuries.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
At least 20 years.
At least, we'll see. But the at the rate we're going, we've already run into demons, marauders, and dead archons. And hunters. So and it's been what, a week? We're going well. We're doing well.
Hunters are the least of your problems at this point.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, hunters is like way down on my list right now. What the fuck do I do now? Well, first things first, let's go with logic and analyzing, because my anxiety and freak out is going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. The only way we're going to calm this down is science. So
Sure.
let's gather up the fairy marauder ash dust into a new vial. Figure out what the hell that is now. Obviously gather up my constituent parts of the door.
The molecular
And
residue.
yeah, the molecular residue. And put the squeaky toy in its own little box, like Tupperware or something.
Mm-hmm.
Put those as like Exhibit A, Exhibit B.
Yeah.
And then look, save them for aura reading later, sense the unseen, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then see what we can figure out with the new fairy dust, if anything. Marauder dust. Let's not mixed up because there are fae out there. I'm sure.
Yeah, there are fae.
And the marauder dust, and see if we can glean any new info from that, because I gotta start somewhere, because I can't just go running to the Superior going, I got my ass kicked by a marauder without even trying.
I mean, you grabbed the gun and a vial of acid, like you tried.
I guess, in a manner of speaking, but he turned it into a squeaky toy before I could even do anything. So,
correct.
Though for a half second, I was like, when he got distracted by the squeaky toy, it's like, I wonder, he's still just a human. And he has blood. But I was like, I don't know if I want marauder blood in my body. I'm not sure I want to see what that would reveal.
But yeah, so you're gonna take a look at the marauder dust with your sense the unseen?
Sure.
Okay. You don't even need to roll. The moment you shift your senses, you go blind.
I had a feeling that was going to be a result.
And for the rest of the evening, you are blinded by the unfiltered look at what is the Tellurian for a mind that cannot comprehend what it is. It's like all of reality stretched out before you, tickled the back of your red, green, and blue cones, and then was like, fuck you.
Yeah, all right. I had a feeling it was either going to be blindingly like sparkly, or blinding like just because the marauder sees everything, psychopathic nonsense.
Oh, it is an unfiltered, like I said, it's an unfiltered look at the Tellurian. Like there is,
and I'm sure there's some part of my what remnant of whatever the soul is in a vampire and potential avatar going, oh!
We could have had it all. Yeah. But yeah, so now that we know what happened to you that night, we know why you didn't show up too.
I'm gonna go to the farthest end of my laboratory, away from the door.
Yeah, just feel your way over there.
Pull like a chair in front of me because I don't have anything else, and just cry for the rest of the night.
Force yourself into a crying frenzy. It is the saddest of frenzies. But we're gonna move forward. Over the weekend, all of you would have been visited by Tulip in one way, shape, or form. And she tells you that Monday the 12th, you will be meeting up at the Horned Toad Jazz Club with Yocasta Dracos, who would like to know what you've come up with as far as your project is concerned. And she uses the term project very loosely, and kind of come together with an attack plan.
So I sent my ghoul to look at the yearbook from that school. Do you remember?
I did. And he comes back and tells you that there is a 10-year gap in the yearbooks of the school's collection.
And my detective?
And Dandy Bear comes back, and when he meets up with you, you see that he is chain smoking. He is going through cigarettes one right after the other. He looks frazzled. He looks like terrified. And when you come up on him, he says, "Listen, I don't know what you got yourself into, but I lost one of my own contacts chasing this down. This guy's a blank. Whatever happened between you and him, somebody's erased him. 10 years worth of yearbooks have been destroyed at Salem High, conveniently," and he uses air quotes. A few years worth of records at the Portland Motor Vehicle Registry were destroyed in a water main accident, and I don't assume it's an accident. I know better. And this whole thing does not sit right with me. So I don't know what you're into, but I am so glad that we have never exchanged real names before. I am going to go dark until at least New Year's Eve. When I come back, I will give you a new phone number. Erase whatever you have for me. I don't want to end up like my friend.
So said he went dark, but before he leaves, I go, wait, what happened to him? How did he die?
The coroners,
I'm most likely
the coroners are claiming that it's a suicide. There's no way he would have killed himself.
How is a suicide? Decapitation, hanging?
He asphyxiated himself within his garage. Just let the car running, and he loved his car.
Sorry for your...
Like that car meant more to him than his kid or his wife. There's no way he was just gonna go out that way.
I nod and I go, I understand, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Just keep your head on a swivel if you're gonna keep going down this avenue.
I understand. I give him a pat on the back, and before him, I rip up the contact that I have for him.
Okay.
He knows that it's gone.
Yeah, and you see him light up another cigarette as he fucking walks into an alley somewhere and just assumedly tries to lose whatever he believes is following him.
That was fun.
The assuming that you go back to the last call as well to kind of check up for Teddy, the company in charge of the space now is the Sunrise Corporation. They are going to create a whole family-oriented space within the location of what was the last call, and you notice now that all of the properties about 2 buildings down on either side of this corner are now all showing Sunrise Corp.
I kind of make a mental name of it. And if there is a library, I spend maybe a couple hours trying to research the company.
Okay. Sure. You will find out that the Sunrise Corp is a company that's been in Salem for the better part of a couple decades now. The last big thing is that the Sunrise Corp was one of the partners that had been involved in restoring the Orpheus Theater. But with the Xiaolong group having taken up the contract, they were the first to kind of bow out.
Okay.
But that's the major things that you find out about them. Everything else would require heavy digging.
That will be for the downtime after. But okay. I will keep, as a note, I will keep digging when I have downtime.
Okay. Noted.
I also would like to find out where Teddy went.
Yeah. And a lot of people would like to find out where Teddy went.
Ivory, can she find out through whatever contacts where Geraldine used to live and what happened to all of her things?
Easy enough. Geraldine used to live in the apartment complex that you have been in before, which is called the Towers. The Salem Towers, which it now belongs to Anastasia Richards.
And what happened to her stuff?
That nobody knows. The only person you could ask is Anastasia herself.
Okay.
But yeah, Geraldine used to live out of the towers. She used to run her Elysium out of the Orpheus, and everyone kind of knew how to get in contact with her. She was one of the easier people to reach out to. Her Primogen always kind of tried to be responsive enough to keep the city well oiled, and so there was never a need to hide where she lived from anybody. Excuse me. But if nobody else is doing anything over the weekend, we should jump to Monday the 12th at the Horned
And I train
Toad
my cat.
Jazz Club. Yeah. You're going to Ghoul it, or are you just going to try to train it?
I am going to do both.
Okay.
Incorporate some knowledge that I saw from Teddy, from the time that I spent with Teddy. Also incorporating some knowledge that I read, and also incorporating some tricks of my own.
Okay. The second you feed it your blood, you notice its eyes are no longer the soft kind of pet eyes. Like, it is almost instantaneous, the jump in intellect that Vitae gives this animal. It's almost frightening, honestly, because the moment it laps it up and it becomes ghouled, like, it sits back, it lets the transformation happen, and then it just kind of looks up at you and tilts its head expectantly.
I reach down, I look at its collar, I take it off, and I say, "We are going to call you Fluffy now. Okay with you?"
It meows.
And I have a little cage. It's like a little cage. I open the door and I say, "Come on in."
And it walks into the cage.
But I wear it like a little book bag, and that's how I go into what we're about to go into.
Okay.
And I've finished the blood bonding on my ghoul.
Excellent. The Horned Toad Jazz Club is a play on words, horn apostrophe D instead of HORNED. It is off of Southeast 13th Street and Rural Avenue, just south of the Strip, maybe about 10 minutes south. You are introduced to the owner of the club, Harold Stone. And Tulip lets you know that he is a ghoul of one Wilhelmina Statler, otherwise known as Willow to Kathy. He's off limits to anybody who wants to feed. The club does not count as a domain, so it is open feeding ground. But just be aware that this is somebody's ghoul, and this is a kindred of the city who is in good standing. A lot of the rumors surrounding her say that she is the one that took down Andrew Givens, who was a infernalist Tremere that was responsible for some of the demon stuff happening in the city. But after a few minutes, like about 10-15 minutes after the time that you were supposed to all meet up, coming down from the upstairs office, you see the owner, Harold, and Yocasta Dracos following behind. They shake hands, and she comes over and sits down at the table as the band goes into a lull and a small break. She goes, thank you for coming. I appreciate you taking this very seriously. Have you found anything with regards to what is happening in the city?
Which part?
Have we had a chance to speak yet with the group beforehand? Or
If you want to,
up there?
If you want to, you could have all met up.
We don't know
earlier.
what happened to him.
Yeah. If you want to, you could have all met up earlier. I'll say that's
okay. Yeah, I basically give him the lowdown without too much detail of the visit by the Marauder. And now how I'm suddenly very twitchy.
The minute Kathy steps up to everyone, she turns around. She's like, "I have a Fluffy," and she turns around for everyone to see.
And you just see that the cat just kind of sits there in the center of the cage.
I scrutinize the cat. I'm like looking for Judas everywhere now, apparently.
The cat is not Judas.
Okay. He doesn't give off a true sparkly.
No.
No.
There's a keen intellect behind the eyes, which you can assume is a ghoul to cat, but otherwise it just kind of like has accepted its fate and it's just kind of awaiting its next command.
Okay. Yeah, I give it the one eye.
How much control do I have over this cat?
It's one step bloodbound right now, so it is inclined to do what you say, as far as like common sense is concerned. Like you can't use it to attack somebody right now.
Like if I need it for a distraction.
Oh yeah, it'll distract somebody for sure. Especially if there's like food involved or a treat.
Yes, I have treats.
Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, basically let them know about the hermetic symbols, whatever, without giving. I won't go into detail, but like fucking weird shit is involved with these ashes. Like outside my pay grade.
Yeah,
I need to talk to my superiors like yesterday.
Given that you've had a weekend, the symbol that he drew first was the symbol for correspondence.
Yeah.
The symbol that he drew second is the planetary symbol for Mercury.
Correspondence of Mercury? What is he trying to do? Go to Mercury?
Fucking, he's a marauder. All I know he's hanging out in Mercury right now. Oh, he's got a backyard barbecue hanging out in the acid. We're on Mercury. Actually, I don't know.
Kathy doesn't tell them what happened between her detective. Actually keeps that on the low.
Yeah. Ivory would ask, did you talk to Coulson? Because he said he talked to you.
Well, did I talk to this guy?
I assume that calling in the superiors involved calling John Coulson.
Okay, that's what I figured. Just making sure.
Yeah. So I would assume that Coulson knows whatever you want to share with him. But also the Tremere Primogen, Richard Stephen Thompson, would know whatever you wanted to share with him, since those are the two kind of big wigs as far as Tremere are concerned in the city. Coulson is House Karna, so that you're aware.
Yeah.
But Thompson is definitely part of the pyramid. So he's Tremere. House Tremere.
Yeah, and I still respect, as Karna, I would still respect. Not the pyramid like being over us, but like the authority structure in the city at the very least.
Yeah.
Like he's our rep. So I don't have a problem with that.
I would also tell Karl all the stuff that happened with both meetings that we were at. Although I might leave out the detail about her being the grand sire.
I assume,
at least for now.
I wanted to make sure that it was spoken out. So
yeah, and I don't have a problem with telling both of the, like I said, the Tremere, Andrew and the Primogen and John Carter. I want to say John Carter. It's not John Carter. What was it?
And
John
Coulson.
And tell them both everything. There's nothing I need to hide there.
Okay.
Because holy shit, I want to know what's happening. but holy shit, I'm scared. Because you don't run into a marauder and walk away not twitchy.
And the symbols that the Ash made when he initially did it, did we get that?
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah, no, that is very much a hermetic symbol, so I'm gonna have to look that up on my end, and then I'll let you know which one it is. But it's probably gonna be more esoterically aligned with mage than with vampire.
Okay.
So, conclusion: this chick was also a mage, or some form of a mage.
It was a dude, but yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Hannah. Hannah.
Oh,
was,
Hannah.
Might have been involved with mages.
Might have been.
That's what I was
saying. Sorry. Yeah.
Might have been? Are we still sticking with might have?
It's not a leap.
Blatantly.
Not a leap. Too good to there.
It could have been the people who did it to her.
Right.
Also.
Mm.
I mean, it's possible the hunters were working with mages or were mages.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Speaking of which, didn't your ghoul go and try to find things on him?
Couldn't find anything.
That's definitely mage. Great. Oh, if anyone wants to know, apparently Sunshine Corp bought out Teddy's thing.
Sunshine Corp.
They sound
always a fun name involved when we're nearby.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Ivory makes a note to check into that company.
Okay.
She does. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, outside of my expertise, but it sounds suspicious.
Well, Ivory has finance, so might be able to find something through that.
Right.
Would be appreciated.
You definitely
While you're
might.
at it. Like, as she says that, I'm like, that'll be appreciated. If you can, where Teddy went, maybe.
But meeting if that's all you want to discuss with each other before the meeting, that's well and good.
I think that's about it. Yeah, we're gonna
bring each other up to speed. Yeah. Okay. Yocasta, once we're back into that meeting, she goes, I have been given a lead about an Anarch Tremere named Ian Scott, who was captured infiltrating the northern part of the city. He was caught by the Malkavian Primogen and his dual ghouls. He is currently holding him as a guest in his domain, but I figured since you have a Tremere as part of your coterie that you might be able to gather some answers before we get to hunting. And before this Primogen does something irrevocable to him.
What?
So we can certainly... He's holding... the Malk Primogen is holding a random Anarch Tremere who apparently was caught breaching the city borders, I guess.
Correct.
In northern Salem. So we're going to see what he's up to before...
How is that? I lean over to Ivory. How is that our problem?
Because I'm here, apparently.
Does he have something to do with all of this?
He might. I don't know exactly, but given that Mr. Reynolds is trying to force his way into the city by any means necessary, this man might have information that we could use.
Lean over to Ivory again. Are we supposed to interrogate him? Just crucify him?
I think it's supposed to be like a Tremere to Tremere talk. Like, I don't know.
Does Karl know that? Because he looks confused.
I think his...
Angie, this is happening behind you.
I am twitchy. What do you want? you run into reality-altering psychopaths and see how you fucking deal with it.
Does he actually say that?
Soon.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Yeah, and she kind of, and even the Hound just kind of like looks at you, like, we all have our issues, I guess. But I figured it would help to have somebody that can try to get information out of him. The Malkavian Primogen has been forceful as of late in trying to get information out of him, and so this has created the kind of trap of steel, I believe is what the colloquialism, as far as this man is concerned. So maybe taking a new approach and letting someone of the clan lead the questioning could open up some information.
Okay, we can try. Can't hurt. They're gonna go down a different road anyway afterwards. If I'm like his last option before it gets weird.
Yeah, you are the last option before it gets weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Kind of weird. We're talking whips and chains.
No, that not kink. Weird.
If any of you have not dealt with the Malkavian Primogen, I will warn you that
not very much.
He is a special kind of strange, even for a Malkavian.
Having seen him, I would pretty much agree with that. And we have to go to his domain?
This is where he is holding him, and this is where he wants to be introduced to your coterie, yes. I'm sorry.
Well, this should be fun. Okay. Anything? Do we know specifically what info has been gathered yet, or is that something that?
The only thing that I was told is that the man's name is Ian Scott, and that this man might have information regarding our hunt. So,
can I do like an insight to find out if this person's like hiding information?
Sure.
Of course they're hiding information.
Of course they are, but I want to figure out how much of bullshit I'm going to get my head stuck in.
Sure.
Alrighty.
Go ahead and give me a wits and insight check.
And I have how much hunger?
1 hunger. You're not too hungry.
Right, so wits and insight's 4.
4. So 3 regular dice, 1 hunger dice.
Yep. I got my pink dice.
Ooh.
Here we go. Alright, I got a 7, a 7. Yeah, it's a 5. Yeah, it's a 5. And a 6?
Okay.
I think, yeah, it's a 6.
Okay. As far as you've had interactions with this person, they feel like a straight shooter to you. It doesn't, like, this is the first time that you've never actually felt like somebody has given you the runaround.
Okay. The messenger.
Yeah, like she's not hunched over, she's not kind of looking away, like she's kept eye contact with you. She's kept her kind of Amazonian structure the whole time. Like she is, you can tell that she's built for combat and that she's ready for it tonight. But she doesn't look like she's the kind of person to play the politic game.
Get it. Okay. Alrighty. Let's go find this Malkavian prince.
Primogen.
And yeah, she like catches usually, but would not. I don't think that anyone would allow this man to be prince of a city.
I would hope not. I'm surprised about the rank he does have. Anyway,
do you have transportation, or would you like to go in my cart?
Oh, she has a car.
I think we're good.
Usually, we take her car.
Okay. I will meet you out front then. You can follow me.
So you are going with us?
Oh yeah. You are going to need someone there that can be the middleman between you and this man.
Like as they walk forward.
Great. Awesome.
Does she know about our coterie? how much bad luck we are? Okay, I guess she's coming. Question: if you die, who do you report to so I know to give your body?
Oh, it would be impressive if somebody could kill me, but I am the sheriff's hound. The sheriff is the one that I answer to.
Making sure on that note, because we've seen some impressive things in the last couple weeks. And then she gets in the car.
You've had quite the initiation, yes.
But yeah, you see that she comes around in this 72 Charger muscle car, just a monstrosity of a roar of an engine as she comes around.
No one let it in that.
Nope. And she leads you north of the city into the district of Kaiser. And you come to a compound of sorts, very kind of plantation style home. There's a big front yard. The house sits all the way in the back. It is a 2-story structure. The outside looks unremarkable, plain. There's a couple of topiary bushes that have been carved into like the shapes of animals, like deer running. Very, very nonchalant. Yeah, it's kind of like there's opulence here, but it's very clearly like you have to look for it.
While we're driving, couple things. You guys remember this is the guy that's the Nazi?
Oh yeah, I remember.
As she says that, Kathy, who's been playing with her cat and kind of like petting it, goes, "What?"
Yeah, he's the Nazi that was in the SS uniform when we first met.
He sounds fun. Maybe I should stay behind.
Also, if this Ian guy has information about Grant Reynolds, we're looking for information about Grant Reynolds. So that's possibly something that we could use.
Right.
So.
Grant Reynolds was the Anarch guy. That's
yeah, he's the Baron.
Right?
He is the Baron of West Salem.
Right. And he's the was he the Exobot guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about Templar.
Sure. Yeah, good guy, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
Of course,
give the charity.
If we want Otis's help, then we need to get information on him. So I don't know. All of this may tie all together. Who knows?
Right.
In a bow. Interesting.
But she pulls up first. She gets out of the car. She goes over. She knocks once everybody's ready. And you see what looks to be these two identical twins open the door. They're dressed in very much the Third Reich's youth brigade kind of appearance, like the gray shirt, the very little black tie that's tucked in. And you see them both kind of snap their heels together and stand at attention. Jawohl! Welcome! And
So Ivory fits that motif. So she's going to use it, but she's going to hate it the whole time.
Kathy, what she's going to do is she's going to leave her cat like in the car. She's going to pet it, give it love. And then as she's as everyone's like kind of like walking out, she's going to find like the darkest corner she can, and she's going to obfuscate and try to keep close enough to like get into through the doors, but not really be seen.
Malkavians have obfuscate, by the way.
No.
Just saying.
Yep. Yeah, and don't try to sneak into a Puritan's house, please.
No.
This is, everybody. Let's start off on the most terrible foot possible.
I can imagine the two of you just see her starting to skulk towards a shadowy area, and you're just like, no,
not this time.
Like Ivory just pulls her back. No,
come here. Stand right here next to me. Don't do what you're gonna do. But they let you in, and the foyer of the house looks deceptively empty of any accoutrement or regalia. There's a black marble floor, the ivory painting and kind of marbling of the handrails that go up the grand kind of winding staircase to the second floor landing. But when they lead you into the library, you no longer have any doubts about where this man's allegiance lies. There are on the ceiling draped hung banners that look to be from actual speeches that were given by the Führer himself. There's a large kind of emblazoned banner of the swastika on a big leather seat that sits behind the desk. There is this marvelous kind of 5-foot tall copper or bronze eagle on top of like the laurel with the swastika in it that sits next to him, next to the seat. And both of the guys kind of stand on either side of the door as you enter, and from a side door leading off to another part of the house, you see the Malkavian Primogen, Elias Kaiser, come in. He is, as always, dressed in his original SS uniform. Not a line out of order. Everything is ironed to the Führer's perfection. And he comes in and he snaps his heels together and he bows. It is good to see all of you. Welcome to my home. Hope you can find yourselves in a warm embrace of Zephyr's love.
Kathy looks around and goes, "Oh, 9. 9.
Oh.
No.
You would like to be more comfortable?
Yeah. The decor, it's got a real antique vibe.
Jawohl.
And then she kind of steps behind Ivory.
Ivory does a nod to him. Of course, of course. It is beautiful in here.
You honor me.
Yeah, I'll do the similar kind of bow thing and say welcome in German, which I'm sure is like welcome in or something, but I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks at you and in German he's like, "Oh, you speak the mother tongue."
Yeah. Oh. My family was from Germany.
Excellent. Already I find you most appealing to me. And in English he says, please, I assume that you are here to meet our guest. Would you like to get to that immediately, or would you like some time to maybe perhaps chat, talk business, shoot the shit, as the Americans say?
I think we're more on a timetable this time on this visit. We are trying to get as much information and stop potential bad things happening. So
I understand. Hans, please get a date for whatever this next time will be, so that we are prepared for them excellently. And he goes, "Of course, my Führer." But they lead you downstairs to what looks to be this dungeon, and not in the kinky way. Like, it is dank and you can hear water dripping. But he leads you to what looks to be this octagonal metal chamber where you see the guy has been strapped to a metallic chair that has been bolted into this middle of this room. And you see in 3 of the walls 4 little holes that look to be about shin level, thigh level, chest level, head level. Karl, being German, would probably recognize this design as one of the chambers.
Knew it. Sorry.
It looks like, because of the person in the chair, though, that this is not a traditional use. You're assuming that this is like napalm ejectors.
Looking over that, or sunlight, like things that let in sunlight. But sure.
Yep.
Why? I thought he was a guest. Why is he being
a guest in the you can't leave. You can check out, but you could never leave kind of guest.
Ivory kind of pats Kathy's shoulder and just it's okay.
This man was found infiltrating the prince's domain here in the north part of the city. This is a known anarch, from what my sources have come back and told me. He is lucky to have left alive.
Who are your sources?
Oh.
Like I pointed to him. He's strapped to a chair in a gas chamber.
Oh, this is not a gas chamber. I could not. We are much more resilient than to suffer methane. This is a chamber built to incinerate members of our race, of course, obviously.
Oh, obviously.
Step back a little.
Yeah. Wait, so we're going in there to interrogate. Why don't we bring him out? So we feel a little less.
If you feel unsafe of the chamber, I can just leave the door open, of course. But I can assure you that Hans and Pytr are both very skilled, so should you need help, they will be happy to step in and subdue the gentleman.
I don't think that'll be necessary for the moment.
Literally, I see why he's not.
But it's good to know that they are there. Thank you. Just appreciate it.
Of course. Would you like me to stay with you while you question this gentleman? Or
nope. You can go upstairs, enjoy your bloody wine, whatever you do up there. You let us do our job.
Of course. I have a pressing matter about some monstrous Nosferatu that has been seen in this part of the city, but...
Oh?
Wait, what? Who's the monstrous for Nosferatu? What?
Oh, I don't know. I've been trying to find out who it is, but people have told me...
Where was this?
Here in Kaiser.
What is he doing? Like, what's the concern?
I don't know, to be honest, but people have come back telling me that there is some monstrosity of a creature skulking around in my neighborhood, in my domain, and none of the members of the Prince's Court have said that this is a Nosferatu that has been presented, so as such, being that it is not a member of the tower, then it can be handled as such, and therefore he is outside of the protection of the Prince. So when I find him, I can do whatever I would like to him.
As is your
Ivory takes Kathy's hand and squeezes it really hard.
Sidebar, just real quick, not in character. How hard is it to kill a Primogen? Just curious.
Oh, it'll be hard.
Hard, especially at your level. Yeah, hard.
And we're not. If we were all combat oriented, maybe.
How hard is it to lie?
But we are not.
Wait, how hard is it to lie to them?
Also, kind of hard, depending on what they
depends on what they have, but we don't know. So,
to try.
I mean, we've already been kind of lying. So
yeah,
but we're playing into his delusions. So.
Yep.
How long has this?
I haven't uttered a lie.
Okay, back in character. How long has this Nosferatu been rummaging around? Because he could be part of my coterie. I would have to check with Tulip.
No, I'm saying that he hadn't been presented. That's what I'm saying. Or he's saying.
Yeah. As far as I am aware of his sudden skulking about, it has only been within the last 2 weeks. So perhaps he is trying to feel out the city and how it works before introducing himself, but it is too long, I think, for somebody who is part of the tower to have just lingered about. I think this might be someone who is up to more nefarious situations. So when I find him, I will ferret out the truth out of it.
And now Kathy's doing this with like a straight face as she can. And how close are you to finding him? Or it?
Oh, I have only just begun. But Pytr and Hans are very skilled. They summarily subdued this Tremere within a matter of moments. I don't presume that a Nosferatu would stand a good chance unless it was
always
someone.
good. It's always good to have good help.
Oh, I have had Hans and Pytr since. When were you created? And you see him look at them, and they both stand at attention. And one of them just yells out at top of his lungs, like using the full breath of his diaphragm. 1939, Führer. And the other one yells out, 1938. I am my eldest. Good.
Guys, a sidebar. I'm gonna do some stupid shit tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I am well aware of it. I apologize. I might die. I am well aware of it. My plan, and I'm gonna let you know, is to free this guy and kind of like give the Führer or whatever this dude's name is more ammo to go after him. And I'm pretty sure this other guy's Teddy. So I'm just gonna let you know this beforehand. I apologize. All right, let's continue.
Why are you gonna free this guy though?
Distraction.
Oh, distraction, I guess.
Distraction enough to get him free so that they focus on him and not Teddy.
Yeah,
and it gives me time to find Teddy.
Yeah, and he just looks over. He's like, Hans, Pytr, I leave you in the company of our new guest. Please take care of their needs. Should they, as they arise, I will be upstairs looking into this Nosferatu issue that we have. And he starts to make his way back upstairs. Yokasta has kind of like sat down at the steps, at the lower steps of the stairs, and she's just like,
yeah.
Ivory just nods at her.
Like, she doesn't say anything, but the unspoken message is this is a lot to take in.
Agreed. All right. So let's talk to the bastard.
Let's get to work.
Yep.
As you guys go to the front, I'm going to try to go to the back to analyze his wristbands and stuff like that. Need rolls. I want to kind of observe his restraints, the weak points in the restraints, and how hard it would be to like break some cord. I know that Ivory usually carries some stuff, so I also kind of want to slip with her unnoticed, so that maybe I can start undoing some restraints.
The restraints that are holding him down are not too hard to break if you are on your side of the restraints. They are reinforced leather, so they're made to be much more difficult to break out of than to pull someone out of them. Excuse me.
What about undoing them so it looks like they kind of were weathered, like doing it in a way so the restraints look like because they're older or because the leather is not bound correctly, he was able to break through?
Oh no, looking at them and studying them, these are regularly used. You don't know what that means to you, but they are well oiled, they are well cared for. The room is spotless. Like, the guy looks like he's been beat up, like he's got blood on his face, on his shirt, and his pants and everything, but the room itself is spotless. It is clean to the point of medical.
Impressive.
Does he look like he can run, or can I spot any type of like broken bones?
No, he looks like he would have to feed so that he could heal before anything happens. He looks worse for wear.
And the two guys, they beefy?
Yeah, they look like if you remember Indiana Jones and the first one,
Crystal
the Ark of the
Skull?
Covenant. No, the Ark of the Covenant. The first movie, the actual Indiana Jones movie. The guy that he fights in front of the plane.
Oh my god!
That gets like torn up by the propeller.
Yeah.
Like they're a spoonful down from there. But these guys look like they're good, like German stock.
Cameras?
Cameras? No, not at all.
Can Ivory tell what she's doing? Because she's kind of keeping an eye on her because she's been going off. And
I think that the moment she asked, once Teddy was brought up, that Ivory knows what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Karl
that
for sure
she's
doesn't.
eyeing things and trying to like.
Yeah, I don't think Karl is in the right state of mind to have noticed it. Ivory has spent more time with Kathy, so for sure the questioning that was kind of skating around Teddy and the mention of like maybe he's part of our clan, like whatever. Those are red flags for Ivory, I think.
Okay, Ivory is going to go close to her and try and catch her attention.
Not too hard.
Well, I don't know. And just no, just shakes her head.
As Kathy passes around a second time, I'm like, you don't know, good work. I see miracles happen. You don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right. But how does Karl want to approach Ian?
Good question. Does
he have a gag?
No.
No, hello, Ian.
No. His eyes are not covered. His mouth is not gagged. He is just kind of not terrified, but he is very apprehensive about the new faces that have been brought in.
Right.
Does it seem like he's been drugged?
No. He looks hungry. Like he is eyeballing all of you, and as you get closer, like you can see that he's thinking about how to get at you, to feed. But all of you have seen that kind of look before.
So, and I guess my most business-like tone, which is I can switch to with a German accent. I'll be basically like, so hello, Ian. Obviously, you're in trouble.
I explained to the gentleman that I'm new to the city. I am not an anarch. I'm just I came here from Seattle. I'm new to this country. I've been mostly kept across the pond. My sire's gone missing. I thought that maybe I could find him here. He was in correspondence with a gentleman named Albert Frost. And so I thought that maybe I could get some answers from him.
All right. See if he's lying.
I'd like to use, yeah.
Sure. What's an insight?
What's an insight? Does aspects help with that at all? I don't think so, right?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, I'll say if you have the enhanced perception one, what's it called?
Okay, heightened senses.
Yeah, heightened senses, that it'll help.
Okay, so just like add aspects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will,
yes.
Kathy will take this opportunity to kind of like squat and put a comforting hand on top of where the she's kind of like blocking the view from the other guys.
Okay.
And she squats, but she puts her hands on top of like the first set of restraints. Mm-hmm. And she's not gonna undo them, more so than loosen them.
Yeah, we can see you.
Not if I'm hiding well. The idea is
we're looking at you. We're looking at the guy.
Yeah, Ivory is specifically watching you.
Yeah, Ivory's looking at you and he's looking at him, so it's going to be really difficult unless you're like on top, like unless you straddle the guy to draw attention away from yourself. Like Pytr and Hans, they don't care. They're outside. One of them is like doing one-arm push-ups. The other one is kind of flexing in front of Yokasta.
I'm going to straight up loosen it up then. Like, I'm going to look it up and be like, I am going to do this and I apologize.
I'm going to use awe on her.
I was just going to dominate.
Oh, well, if that's easier, actually.
Okay.
Stop, Jesse.
Kathy.
Kathy, sorry. My bad.
Okay.
So let's dominate.
Ooh, we get our first bit of contested rolling between the group.
Yep.
Which level of dominate are you using?
Well, I just need one word, but I could use mesmerize.
Well, that I'm wondering because one of them is free, one of them requires a rouse check.
Yeah.
So.
Plus dominate plus resolve. Yeah, I'm just gonna use. I don't need to do a complex command, so I'll just use compel.
Okay, so that's gonna be your charisma and dominate versus Kathy's intelligence and resolve.
Yep.
Well, Kathy, your intelligence is a 4. Your resolve is a 4.
Very
oh,
good.
Wow.
There, as you're not resistant. Cool.
Like, my intelligence is actually pretty high, guys. I act like a dipimbo.
Should be a 3, actually.
No.
All right. I got 4 successes. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Thought I got. I guess it's not. Okay.
We're just rolling against difficulty 6, right? Just make
sure.
Yeah,
difficulty 6 is the standard. Whoever has more successes.
I got 2 10s if that matters, but I don't think it does.
Yeah, that's 4 successes.
I got a 7, a 3, a 0, a 3, a 5, an 8, a 7, and a 2.
Okay, so 4
I rolled
successes.
1
So 4 and 4.
All right.
You only got the 2 10s?
No, I got 2 10s and a 9 and a 6.
5.
Oh,
Five.
So 6 successes.
5.
Oh, you got 6.
Yeah, 6.
I got a 0. I got a 0, an 8, a 7, and a 7.
I forget.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, every pair of 10s is a critical success, so that doubles them.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Single 10s don't count.
Right, that's the double. Okay, so yeah, 6 successes.
1, 2, 3, 4. I got a 0, an 8, a 7, and a 7. That's my successes. If it's above 6.
Yep. So he, in the middle of his questioning, he sees you come up. Ivory kind of is trying to lock eyes with you and again express to you how bad of an idea this is. And as you look up, as you're about to pull the strap out of its pin, you see Karl just say, "Stop." And immediately you freeze.
Ivory, you can't do this. She can't do this.
Mm-mm.
Not here.
Agreed.
I'm sorry, Kathy, but this is you're too new. You don't understand what the consequences of this would be.
Now, the stop only contingentates to the straps and handling this guy, right? I can still walk around, or am I stop?
You can, as long as you step away from the situation, you can act normally. But any attempt to come back to the strap, you kind of feel that command all over again in your mind, and it's just like even looking at the straps, you force yourself to look away right now, and you don't know how long it's going to linger, but there's that feeling of his beast, his monster is more suave than yours, and right now his is forcing itself to make yours cower.
I can tell that it's dominate, like he's doing something to me, or it just feels like natural.
No, you feel the presence of that beast.
And he did say the word.
Yeah.
So
just making sure that's all on the same page. The minute that she feels that, she looks at Karl. She goes, okay. And then she looks at Ivory and is like, I expected more from you. You? And she looks right at him. She's like, fuck you. And she walks out the door.
Okay.
As you will.
You see Hans and Pytr just kind of up and look at you. Is everything okay?
Oh, they're gonna do the questioning. I'm gonna go out and get some fresh air.
Oh, okay. I understand.
And the minute that she's out of sight, she's gonna try and find the Malkavian to kind of like listen to what she can about Teddy.
Okay. So you're gonna go upstairs. Perfect.
Ivory is looking at Karl and looking back to where Kathy just went.
That's a call you're gonna have to make. I'm not sure which one is better. Oh, but she's clearly gonna roam loose, and this isn't gonna go well.
Yeah. Can you handle this?
Yeah, I don't think your presence is gonna be anywhere necessary. Like it's not gonna add anything. So, unless you had a specific set of questions you wanted me to ask him.
So did we ever find out if that was the truth that he was selling?
So
yeah, that's true. We ever ended up doing that.
It is mostly true. He is definitely here from outside of the country. He's definitely looking for Albert Frost, but everything else is up in the air.
Okay. So I tell him, I know you're holding back more info. I don't believe you're not an Anarch. You need to convince me you're not an Anarch.
I don't understand. I'm new here. I was trying to find my way around, and I was assaulted by two gentlemen outside. I was asking questions, sure, but I had heard that this was still a city that didn't have a proper prince, so I didn't think that I was out of line, waiting to present myself.
What did you hear about the city?
That it doesn't have a proper prince.
Why a proper prince?
As far as I know, everyone in the tower has said that Salem does not have a prince that is backed by anyone in Chicago or New York or London, for that matter.
Really?
Okay. I don't know why that would matter, but okay.
No, it does.
Let's see if he's telling bullshit on that, because that sounds like a load of crap.
Okay.
2 10s again, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And an 8 and a 6, so I guess 6 successes again.
Yeah, this is completely truthful.
Oh, interesting.
At least to him, he believes every word that he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know Grant Reynolds?
I mean, everyone that I've spoken to says that he is a force to be reckoned with here on the West Coast. Hard to go anywhere without hearing about Grant Reynolds.
Have you spoken to him specifically?
No. The man would sooner eat me than speak to me.
Try to see if he's full of shitty on that.
Okay.
4 successes.
4 successes. He is not. It is well known that Grant Reynolds would jump at the chance to get blood sorcery under his belt.
Okay. So he's not lying about never met him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
So not exactly using presence, but definitely, using some charisma, which I can add my presence into. Start playing good cop.
Okay.
I wasn't exactly playing bad cop yet.
Oh, yes. No, I know, but he's had some bad cop. So, I am so sorry this has happened to you. There is so much going on here. Everything is so strange. We just really don't understand what's going on. I don't suppose you could help on that.
I wish I could. I myself am, like I said, new to the city. I've only heard some things. I was looking for Albert Frost. I've expressed this to the gentleman in the SS uniform.
Yeah.
Is he all right? He does know that they lost the war, yes?
Malkavian.
Ah. All sod.
So, establishing your bona fides. How could we do that to get you out of this mess?
I tried to explain to them that my sire was a member of the Primogen Council in Portland.
In Portland. Oh.
Yes. He is a there's no Primogen per se in Portland as far as the Tremere are concerned. It's only been until recently that even the discussion of having a Tremere near the Prince has been opening up. There is talk that perhaps we might see a Tremere Seneschal in the near future. But my sire is someone of good rapport with the city. If you will just get word out to him, I'm sure that he would be happy to vouch for me.
And what is his name?
Yeah, what's your sire's name?
His name is Grigory Handel. He is the owner and primary founder of the Portland Municipal Library.
Has Ivory heard of any of this?
Yeah, same for.
Let's do an intelligence and streetwise for both of you.
Streetwise.
Oh, intelligence. Awesome. Good to know.
Well,
what is streetwise?
You got something. Yeah.
For Ivory, it'll be
4 successes again.
Okay.
Just on a 4 roll, apparently.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be 2 for you since it is a Tremere. But for Ivory, it's gonna be at least 3 successes.
I only have 2 dice, so let's go for 2 tens.
Let's go for crits.
No.
Okay. So
no
to
successes. I know nothing.
To you, everything sounds so.
Unless I can put politics, but so.
Yeah, no. To Ivory, everything sounds like such a good cover story. This is like it is squeaky clean. This sounds if it's fake, it's well rehearsed. You're like, this has to be a true story. For Karl, there is no guessing. Like this is a fact. Grigory Handel is the highest Tremere in the city of Portland. Except for there is a Primogen named Joshua Williams.
So he's lying. There's a hole.
But everything else is true. Grigory Handel is a Tremere in Portland, and he is in charge of the Portland Municipal Library.
You ever played that game, Two Truths and a Lie?
Yeah, exactly. So, unfortunately for you, I know there is a Primogen in Portland. So we're going to dispense with at least the issue of words from your mouth and see what the blood says. Because the blood never lies.
There's no need for that, I assure you.
I didn't ask.
And he nods.
So, blood sorcery time.
Yep. What are you going to be doing?
Let's see. First is Blood
Walk. Okay.
Yeah. Blood Walk will be the first.
So you're going to pull out your silver chalice?
Yep. Get out my bag. Start playing.
Okay. So let's have you roll your intelligence and blood sorcery. While this is happening, let's have Kathy roll her stamina and stealth. That's going to be 2 whole dice.
5 successes. Gimme.
2 dice? Really?
Yeah. Stamina
Not the
2,
best
no stealth.
Yeah. Even though she was said not to, I would still like to do my obfuscate.
Oh, okay. Let's just have you do a Rouse check then.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. We have to keep having this conversation. It's one dice.
One die.
Dice.
One die.
An 8.
Okay. So you find a quiet and dark enough corner to kind of skulk into, pull the shadows around you, and feel comfortably hidden. And you can hear the Primogen Elias talking, kind of at a regular level. He is back in the library.
I'm trying to stay at a distance where I cannot be seen or heard. And I know I'm an obfuscate, but I also want to be able to hear words, like actual like things that he's saying, and only concerning Teddy. Like I don't care about anything else.
Okay. So you come up to the door that's slightly ajar. You can hear what's going on. You can't see anything though. And you definitely do hear him kind of walking around. He is on the verge of anger from the way he's walking. And you can kind of hear someone shifting in a chair. You can hear the leather kind of straining as the body shifts. And there's a moment where he stops talking in German, and then he takes a deep breath, even though he doesn't need to. He goes, "You were tasked with a simple request: to find this monstrosity and to bring it in so that I may question it and find out if our prince has more trouble coming into the city. And yet you sit here and you explain to me that you can't find a creature whose descriptors put him at a venerable Grendel walking the streets of Salem." And you hear a female voice, "Sir, you have to understand, he is Malkavian. He can hide better than we can find him." And you hear the sound of skin contacting skin violently. It is a sound that you remember from your time in your marriage.
Do I recognize the voice of the girl?
No. Not from the muffled distance that you're at.
Okay.
You can only make out that it is a female. It's definitely a female. He goes, "If I wanted excuses, I would go back downstairs and speak to that fucking Tremere I have strapped to my chair. You were brought in for a specific duty. Now go and do it. Do not bring me more excuses. If you cannot find this monster, I will find someone who can, and I will use my influence with the prince to have you destroyed. Am I understood?"
Minnie, he says I'm understood. I walk back the way I came to give me enough time to get to the stairs before they come out.
Okay.
Just to make sure we're clear.
Yeah. And at that point, you only hear the kind of trailing off of promises of coming back with the job done. But you do see that the door swings open. A young woman looks to be in a Victorian dress. You see her kind of pulling down the black sheer veil over her face. And as she does, you immediately have that moment where like the foreground shifts back behind you as the camera kind of zooms in on your face, because that's Willow. That's another Nosferatu. And as you have that moment with yourself, we go back to Karl. You find out that this man is definitely not Grigory Handel's child. His sire, I'll tell you right now, his sire is Werner Herzfeld.
Okay. Do I know him?
You've heard of him. He is somebody that is usually brought up in the same breath as Grant Reynolds. Werner Herzfeld is a Tzimisce.
Oh shit! So
he's not even Tremere.
Okay. Not even Tremere.
Yeah. I'm like Hans Gruber, whatever the fuck these two guys' names were. Hans and
Pytr.
Hans and Pytr, please come here.
They come immediately and they snap their heels together as they step inside the doorway.
Please keep an eye on this man. He is extremely dangerous.
Of course, yeah. And you hear you hear the guy's voice shift as he kind of starts to struggle against his restraints. And he's like, "You don't even know what's coming. The storm is too late to stop. Your prince is a fool, and you are fools for following him."
What's coming? What are they going to do?
What's coming? Yeah, exactly.
It's not what, it's who. I can't wait to see your faces when he does.
Oh, please, tell us. Oh, please.
You see him become a little bit redder, like his cheeks become full and pink, just so that he could pull up saliva to spit.
Celerity move.
Gross. But yeah, you see Hans and Pytr just go over and they just start punching him into submission till he goes unconscious.
All right, okay. I go. I'm like, you need to notify your master that this man is a Tzimisce, not a Tremere.
Yeah, well, and you see Hans go rushing off, or who you assume is Hans.
They never do specify which one's which, do they?
Yeah. They're identical twins, so it doesn't. You're just like, I guess, yeah, sure.
Sure. Oh. We don't have time at this moment, but Tzimisce bad.
Yeah, I know. That's Sabbat.
Ancestral, yes, Sabbat and ancestral enemies of my clan, amongst others.
That is correct.
And they can shapeshift to a degree, so if this guy even starts twitching in a wrong direction, he needs to be beat into unconsciousness, at the very least, or staked.
I understand.
Honestly, I would just keep him staked now, to be quite honest.
Oh, good. Yeah, I've been wanting to use it. And you see him rush off. You hear some clamoring. And then he comes back with like a small wrapped bundle of leather that he unfolds on the floor. And you just see 4 different style of wooden stakes and like 3 different styles of hammers and mallets. And he just fucking grabs one and he's just like, yes, this will do nicely. And he just fucking starts slamming it into the guy's chest. It's a little uncomfortable being in the room while somebody's getting staked like that.
It looks unpleasant.
Oh yeah. So I would understand if you guys want to leave the premises.
Yeah, I definitely will watch out of scientific curiosity, but I'm not loving it per se. But I can understand if Ivory does not want to be in the room.
She wants to know what he found out.
Yeah.
So once this guy goes unconscious, like we need to.
Yeah.
So get out of the room. And then I'll start telling Ivory once we're out of earshot of douchebag on the ground, because I know we're still aware at least once we're staked.
So just to make sure. So you learn the generation and the name of the subject. He is his name is Ian. Ian Stone. He is 9th generation.
Ian Stone or Ian Scott?
Ian Scott. Ian Scott. just to make sure. Yeah, Ian Scott. He is 9th generation. His sire is he 9th generation? Let me make sure. What is Werner? No, sorry. He is 9th generation because Warner's the 8th. So I was right. And you didn't get a critical win.
No, I didn't.
You don't know about blood bonds.
No.
But you got the prevalent information.
Yeah. The Zamitsi being the huge fucking chunk of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm glad. And I forget, in this version, does dominate, is it bound? Like, could I dominate him? I think they took that away, right? The generation level.
They took that away.
Okay. So just out of curiosity.
Yeah, it's a resisted roll.
All right. Cool. But just making sure. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, blood potency helps, but it doesn't feel like he's stronger than you are. Just that he's got more age.
Right. Or yeah.
So
inherent
Ivory is turning on her heightened senses, specifically Auspex, to see if she can see Kathy.
Kathy is not in the room with you. And she is not outside with Yocasta either.
Okay. But I'm gonna go try to follow the guy to his master so he can be told.
Yep. Where is Kathy during all of this?
Kathy was trying to make it like in the dark stairway. Like she was trying to be as like sneaky as she can. Like I said, the minute she heard and saw that it was Willow, she didn't even process it. She was like, I need to get out of here because I don't want to get caught.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the idea. So
you see one of the twins come rushing up past you. So I assume that you kind of like pancake yourself against the wall.
Mm-hmm. And the minute that he rushes up, she counts to 5 and then she pretends to rush after him. Maybe he saw her and not like kind of like just go with that.
Okay.
Out of
Obfuscate. Good. Yeah, you see that he immediately stops as he sees that his master is still like talking to Willow. And he goes, "Meine, there is news when you are finished." And he bids Willow goodbye. He sees you behind, and he's like, excellent. What news do you bring as I come from one meeting with one Nosferatu to another?
I was hoping you could ask me. I saw you rushing up here and I came up right after you. I guess you didn't see me when you rushed past me. It seemed like you had a really big emergency.
And you see he kind of looks down and he's like, I am sorry, my Führer. I should have been more. And before he says anything else, you again hear that sound of skin touching skin. But this time you see him just backhand this. And Hans and Pytr are both a good head taller than he is. Like, they are 2.5 times wider than he is, all muscle. Like, this is a thin, frail-looking man. And the moment that he slaps this monster of a human ghoul that he has, the guy starts to practically cry. Like, he is upset that he failed his master. He falls to his knees. He's begging for forgiveness. And the guy just... the Malkavian Primogen just wrenches his hand away and says, "Please, since you are capable, could you lead me to whatever news this buffoon was going to give me?"
Sure. Will, outside of character, real quick. Is Willow still there?
No, she's gone.
I just needed my shirt. All right. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Let me take you to my coterie.
Yeah, and then you see them coming up the stairs as you turn around.
Like, look, they followed me here, and I give them a look. Right,
you two get to see the Malkavian Primogen, a blubbering Hans or Pytr just on his knees, kind of begging for forgiveness, and Kathy just kind of like standing there, motioning towards you.
The look on Ivory's face is, oh God, what did she do now? But
guys, you were here to give the news that we all saw, right? Like you guys, you got to tell him.
Right, the news.
Right.
Yes. So I don't know if Hans or Pytr, I'm sorry, I missed which one this was.
Kathy will take a few steps behind and try to see if she can see into the room without being really noticed.
Sure.
And but so I performed a ritual on this guy. He's Zamitsi. His sire is Werner Herzfeld.
And you see the Malkavian Primogen's eyes light up. A smile comes over his face, and you see him just kind of bring his hands together. Well, happy birthday to me, I guess. This is such delicious news.
He does have information.
This, I think, is a good place to call it for tonight. So I am happy that we got to all get together again. I was worried that some of us would be missing today, but
Yes,
it is good to be
pushing
back.
Through the sickness, Jesse.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you are back, that we are all back. I can't wait to see where this story unfolds, especially since the Anarchs are back in Salem and they can start fucking shit up here again for you.
Yeah. Well, not quite. We're still behind them.
You catch up. You'll catch up.
Okay, we have words to speak with them anyway.
Yeah.
They have
just a few. Melvin, you have
keys.
lots of fucking information.
So much. But as always, I would like to thank you guys for participating, for being part of this, for letting me be your storyteller. I'd also like to thank the audience for tuning in, hanging out with us. As always, you guys are fantastic. Please take care of yourselves. I know that Jess is a little on the rough side, but please look after yourselves. Please know that it is okay to not be okay. And if you need help and you're watching live, there are phone numbers going up in our Twitch chat, so you can find the resources to get you the help that you need. If you're not in the United States, there's a link going up, and all of this will be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. Because I think mental health is stuck behind a taboo subject matter, and because a lot of people don't like talking about it, even though it is just part of who we are. You know, it is. We got to see a darker side of things in the beginning, and now slowly the light is starting to come through. And you know, as more resources become available, I think it's better for everyone to know that. So please, if you feel like you need them, they are there. And always know that you have a safe corner here, and that it is okay to not be okay. As always, you can catch us every Monday for our dual story of Vampire the Masquerade. One week is Anarch, 1 week is Camarilla. Tomorrow you can catch the return of Legend of the Five Rings. Our L5R story is coming back, but Tuesdays are normally between L5R and Werewolf the Wild West. And on Thursday we will be starting a special new campaign, our 7th campaign here on the channel, and just so happens to be 7th Sea, which is a fantastic piratey story, which I'm excited to tell and can't wait to get started. We did have that kind of sharing Thursdays with Dungeons and Dragons, but given the bullshit that's happened over at WotC, I am heavily leaning towards coming back with either a Pathfinder game or a game of my own system. I have decided that because Wizards of the Coast is no longer the big bad monstrosity that it was before, that I am going full-time into publishing, and I'm going to publish a book and a game system based on that novel. So that might be what we come out with. And so we'll be playtesting it live for everybody, and you'll get to see the birth and growth of a system from the ground up. So that's one of the things that I'm leaning towards. But otherwise, thank you very much for joining us. I hope that you had a good time. I love what's happening. I love this table. I love all my tables. But as always, we will see you when we see you. Please have a good night and take care of yourselves. Ciao.
Adios.